7 buy low, sell high trade targets for you in fantasy football. Everybody's favorite show, but Avery's least favorite show. It is almost 3 o'clock here on Monday. We usually get this shit done by noon.
Yep.
Avery.
Well, that's not Tmack. I struggled getting my players. Yes, I will be hand up. You were also not really ready that much before me.
Yeah. Look, I know that people watching really, really enjoy this type of video, but again, we do put in, I would say I put in the most work for this show other than rankings because it's just,
You just don't want to sound like an idiot.
Yeah. I have to be willing to put my life on the line for this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that with this because I have a buy low and a sell high that I think you could buy this guy by trading my sell high. So we'll see. We'll see if you can actually do that.
I'm in the same boat.
Let me
I would
know.
want to do that.
Yeah.
Make sure you drop a like for all the hard work. You put in.
Yes. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, please. We'd really enjoy that.
Do you think we should set a little like goal for this video?
Yeah, 150 likes.
Woo!
150 likes, and we
Christ.
will. No, we usually get a few thousand views on this video.
Okay.
150
Shout out to
likes.
viewers.
We're going to give $25 of site credit to 2 people watching the video. All you need to do is comment. Like the video, comment. Once we get to 150 likes, we'll give away site credit to 2 people that commented on the video.
Easy peasy.
So get creative with the comments. Say something about...
Talk about Avery's hair and lack of hair.
Yeah. It looks good. He cut it.
It's not great.
Recently.
It's not great hair.
Say something about Jared and the fact that he always needs his laptop.
Well, you guys are going to talk about my
Pure
sell
notes
high,
guy.
that's for sure.
Okay, let's get to it. Give me, Jared, you start with a...
Buy low? Or should we start with...
Let's start
No.
sell high.
No, let's
Where do you
go
wanna
buy
start?
low.
Let's go start buy low.
Save
Yeah.
Avery
Start
sell
buy-
high for last. All right, my buy low is David Montgomery. Now, he's injured. He's probably going to be out for a while.
Whoa, not a while.
The team's saying
Maybe a month.
The team's saying he'll be back. It was like 5 weeks when he got
3
injured.
to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
3 to 5 weeks.
So I'm expecting he'll be back after their week 10 bye. So he'll be back fully healthy, ready to go after that bye. And the reason I love him so much is because of the schedule after that bye. They get the Ravens, the Lions, the Cardinals, the Packers, the Vikings, the Seahawks, and the Giants. That's no defenses that have a good run defense. It's just like last year. Remember last year, David Montgomery
Feasted.
dominated the end of the season? I could easily see him doing the exact same thing again just because this schedule is so easy for him. Once he comes back, he's going to get that workload back. Like, sure, Khalil Herbert looks good. Damon Williams looks good, but this is David Montgomery's backfield, and he's going to take it back fully. I absolutely love him. And so some guys I would be willing to give up. Adam Thielen, he just had a good game. Somebody wants to, maybe you need a running back, give up Adam Thielen for him.
You should probably say like this is for a lot of you watching. If you're like 2 and 4? Yeah, if you're 2 and 4 right now, if you're
that's true.
3 and 3, maybe don't make this plunge because you do have
that's a
to
good
wait
point.
on him. But
Yeah.
but I do still like him.
Yeah,
100%
if you're in
agree.
a good spot, maybe you're 4-2, 5-1, maybe you're 6-0, and the guy who has David Montgomery is in a poor spot, that's the
Yes.
perfect opportunity for you to come take David
Definitely.
Montgomery, and you could trade somebody like Adam Thielen, maybe Tyler Lockett. And now this one is a little bit of a stretch. This would be like an extreme buy low, but Josh Jacobs. If somebody's willing to give up David Montgomery for Josh Jacobs, they desperately need a running back right now.
Right.
Maybe they'd be willing to do that.
Yeah,
So
that's an interesting one for sure. Definitely in the scenario that they need someone to play.
Yeah.
Okay, my buy low is Keenan Allen, currently the wide receiver 31 in PPR formats. Look, there's a ton of underlying numbers here that I really like for Keenan Allen the rest of the season. We can see years where guys have a ridiculous touchdown rate, and it just kind of sustains itself all year long, or they just can't find the end zone and it sustains itself all year long. But I'd rather go with numbers, stuff that indicates to me that better days are ahead. And there's a lot of things that look great here for Keenan Allen. He's 7th in targets, 7th in receptions in the season among wide receivers. He's also on a team that's 2nd in plays per game. The Chargers have been playing very quickly, and they've been throwing the ball a ton. 65% passing play percentage, 4th in the NFL, and then they're 1st in neutral game script passing as well. So they're throwing the ball plenty, and Keenan Allen, to me, he is definitely the wide receiver 1 in the offense, and we can't forget about the fact that Mike Williams, dealing with injury, he sat out most of the second half this past week because the game was out of hand and the Chargers were getting killed, and he's been dealing with injury leading up to the game. He was sitting out in practice a bit, and then now it looks like that injury is going to loom for the next little bit, and it's just, that's Mike Williams. He gets banged up, he gets hurt each and every season. He'll miss some time. I don't know if it necessarily will be next week because they are on bye, so he's going to have 2 weeks off, which is great for him. But I think you can get Keenan Allen, especially on this bye if somebody needs someone to play this week. He's 7th in red zone targets in the NFL, which is great. I mean, he's competing with Mike Williams, who is 1st in that category. Mike Williams has 16, I think, Or no, sorry, I don't think Mike is first. He's up there, but Mike's at 16, Keenan Allen's at 15. So they're sharing the red zone pretty evenly. He just hasn't found the end zone yet, and I absolutely think he's going to do that soon because he's been one of Justin Herbert's favorite targets in his career. Like Mike has just emerged this year. Keenan Allen has been around before Herbert, and even last year with Herbert was great rapport. A few guys I think I would use to get him. I'll mention my sell high guy afterwards, but another one, I think CeeDee Lamb is a great player to sell to go get him because I don't like the way the Cowboys are playing offensively. I know they threw the ball a fair bit last week, but I said it in our NFL betting show that I did lose with Patriots plus the points, but the Cowboys wanted to run the ball, didn't run it that efficiently, still ran it like almost 30 times in the game. They're a run-first team through and through. I don't think the passing offense is going to be as electric the rest of season like we predicted this year. So I think CD is someone that's going to be, he's not going to be a sustainable play each and every week, but where Keenan, I think, can be, consistency, we've seen it all along.
Yeah, I like it. I think people are kind of forgetting about him with Mike Williams, the emergence of him.
Yeah.
And one thing I did want to touch on was your point about the bye. That's something I always love to do if my team's in a good spot. I love to look for guys who are just going on bye on a team that maybe is struggling. They need somebody who's going to help them win this week.
Yeah.
So they're willing to trade someone like Keenan Allen for a little bit less than they usually would.
Yeah.
So you can take advantage of that. So I really like that.
Yeah, I hate that we're doing both of them as guys to like buy if you're doing good because we do want to help you if your team's not doing well, but that it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go with another team's second best receiver in LA, Robert Woods, Los Angeles Rams. Tough start to the season for a guy being drafted really close to Cooper Kupp. Obviously, Cooper Kupp's been fantastic. He's a touchdown-dependent option this season who has still been kind of scoring touchdowns, so he's been okay, but I think still largely disappointed. He has 50 yards or a touchdown in 5 of his 6 games this season, but it was just one huge game he had against Seattle. That was awesome. His 23% target share is 27th in the league, but Cooper Kupp is number 4. I think this should start to kind of even itself out a little bit about this point. Cooper Kupp's still going to see a high number of targets. You can tell him and Matt Stafford are just like clicking together there together. But Robert Woods is also a very good option here because of his next 6 opponents: the Lions, the Texans, the Titans, the Niners, the Packers, and the Jags. Sure, it hasn't been great. This is a crazy schedule for the Rams, by the way. How they got this schedule is just unbelievable.
Yeah. They went 9-7 last year, right?
Yeah. The NFL gives its toughest battles to its toughest soldiers, right?
It's
that's
kind
how
of
it works.
It's kind of bullshit that they do it like that, where they take the best teams in the NFL and then they just match them up against the other best teams. I guess they do it for ratings.
It's only 3 of the games that they do that.
I know, but it's to me, it's still like, why do we do like? I don't get why we
Parody.
do that.
It is tough, but I think a guy who's kind of overperforming right now, Antonio Brown, is a guy I would trade for Robert Woods at this point. People will see what Antonio Brown. He's had couple huge games and a couple duds mixed in there, but overall fantasy points, I think Antonio Brown's been better, and I would want Robert Woods rest of the season over Antonio Brown.
Yeah. I mean, take away that one game where he had 12 receptions, and he's been below, I think, like 4 or 5 in every game. So people are probably still pretty low on him, willing to move him for somebody like Antonio Brown. So I like it.
Yeah, and last week we saw that both Kupp and Woods can be sustainable fantasy assets at the exact same time because they both scored last week. Kupp did have two touchdowns, right?
Yeah, he did.
He was ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, my sell high. It's Leonard Fournette of the Bucks. Now they dominated on Thursday, especially Leonard Fournette. I think he had 22 carries and he had like 6 receptions too. He was getting so many touches. These past few weeks, he has been getting a ridiculous amount of touches. He's completely taken over this backfield. He has 54 carries over the past 3 weeks, which is second only behind Derrick Henry, while also having the 5th most receptions among running backs behind, like this is on the season, the receptions, behind Swift, Najee, Chase Edmonds, and Eckler. So a lot of people are going to be fully bought in to Leonard Fournette. I think at this point he's considered among those workhorse type backs. And if you look at his schedule for the rest of the season, it is tough. He's got the Bears, that's a tough defense. Saints, another tough one. Football team, they're easy on through the air, but they still have a tough rushing defense. Mm-hmm. Giants, that's pretty easy. Colts, kind of tough. Falcons is easy. Then Bills are tough. Saints again tough. Panthers tough, and Jets sneaky tough for the run.
I don't know about that. They might be killing them.
They might play hard.
Yeah. Okay, but that's like what? 5 or 6 of the 9 games left that are hard. So he's somebody who I do think he's going to continue being the workhorse back, but I don't think they're going to continue running the ball as much as they have been the past few games. So for that reason, I'm going to be looking to trade him. Some guys I'm looking at in return, the guy I looked at for buy low, David Montgomery, I think that would be a great one-for-one swap there. Brandon Cooks, if you're looking for a wide receiver, he's like the only fantasy relevant guy in the Texans. He's going to be a consistent play.
Yeah.
And then this would be like another absolute steal, kind of like the Josh Jacobs for David Montgomery one. But if you can possibly get Keenan Allen for Leonard Fournette, maybe somebody's fed up with Keenan Allen not putting up great weeks. They need a running back desperately. Maybe they'll make this flip.
Yeah.
That one's a little tough, but maybe somebody out there can make this insane trade. If you can make this insane trade, tag me on Twitter. I'll retweet your tweet.
Nice, dude.
I don't think, like I'm with you. Like I don't think Fournette's sustainable. I just don't know where people, other people are at with him. Because I said to you today, I was like, I can't believe he's where he is on the season so far. So it's interesting, and just as well, like I don't know if Bruce Arians is a guy that will continue to go with a
just
one man committee.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about too.
Yeah,
people are definitely bought into him at this point.
Yeah, he's just a better running back than Ronald Jones, which
he's the best back there for sure.
Yeah.
And if Bernard gets involved in the passing game, then that, because it seems like he has in games that have been competitive and games that have been more pass heavy, but in the games that they're just kind of like I said it on Twitter, but they were just kind of playing with their food on Thursday. Like they could have. I think they could have scored 52 points, and they just did it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my sell high, like I said, I would be selling this player to get Keenan Allen. I would love to do that. Is DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver 13 right now in the season. When I was trying to find a sell high, I'm scanning through the list of players that that have a great finish so far this season, and I was struggling to find somebody. I never could even thought that I would be putting DeAndre Hopkins down here, but I look at the underlying numbers, and it's really weird, and it's really not what DeAndre Hopkins is as a player. He's usually someone that thrives on receptions, on targets, on volume, doesn't really find his way into the end zone too much. The seasons he's scored 10-plus touchdowns, he's usually had like 160, 170 targets. Right now, he is, what do I have here? I think he was 40. Yeah, he's 40th in targets. He has like 36 targets, I think, on the season. The offense itself as well operates fairly slowly. I don't think a lot of people would consider that, but they're 25th in plays per minute. They don't play that fast. They've had some games where this was actually before the game this week against the Browns, so I'm sure this lowers because they absolutely destroyed the Browns and didn't really need to do too much offensively. So this was before that game as well, so this could be a little bit even worse than 25th. They're also 25th in pass percentage rank. So in overall, they're not throwing the ball very often either. This is what's really weird is it's his lowest yards per game since his rookie season. So he's got about 60-ish yards per game so far on the season. He's also on pace for the lowest amount of targets in a season since his rookie year. And then his touchdown rate right now, because he has 6 touchdowns, the same rate that the same amount of touchdowns he had last season, he's gotten so far in 6 games. He's got a 23% touchdown rate, and the highest percentage he's ever had in his career is 13%. So he's scoring tons of touchdowns without a lot of receptions, without a lot of targets, and that's just not the kind of player that he really is. So I'm concerned with all the weapons they have in this offense, how they've been spreading the ball out. That if this continues, he doesn't continue to score touchdowns, and you are going to be disappointed with where he's at. And we are coming off a huge game where he had 2 touchdowns, but he did have like 50 yards, I think, 5 catches, 50 yards, something like that. So I think I'm a little bit worried, and I think Keenan Allen is someone you can go get him for, because I feel like Keenan Allen can provide me 80, 90 yards, and I still feel good about him because he probably has 6 or 7 receptions, and he doesn't even get that touchdown. But when he does, then I'm laughing. I'm looking at maybe the top 3 or 4 wide receiver on the week. So another person I would look to, like Stephon Diggs, is an obvious one. I think a lot of people around the community are talking about go buy Diggs. So if you could do it, I would definitely do that as well.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's weird seeing DeAndre Hopkins being like a touchdown-dependent type wide receiver.
Yeah.
Usually he's the complete opposite of that. He just gets a million targets and doesn't score many touchdowns. So
it could be good for his longevity in the league, though, too. Not getting a ton of targets this year.
Yeah.
They're spreading the ball around so much.
The other weird thing is that this is going to be low, like projected to be the lowest of his career through these weeks, and they're playing an extra game.
Yeah.
Like that includes the fact they're playing an extra game. He's still only on pace for just over 100 catches, which is crazy. But
wild.
Yeah.
Good digging, Tmack. People might hate this one. This is not a sell high. This is just a sell. That is Michael Thomas, New Orleans Saints. Listen, he had surgery to repair those ankle ligaments in June. But we need to go back to what happened before he got surgery. Remember, he just wasn't showing up to the facility. He wasn't answering phone calls. He doesn't want to be a part of this team. Sure, Michael Thomas is one of the most talented receivers in football. I'm not going to get over that. He's a great football player.
He might not still be the most talented. One of the most talented.
You don't think so?
I mean, last year was any indication. He was like
Drew Brees had
great.
Injuries kind of hurt him a lot, but
the last we remember Michael Thomas being a great receiver, it was fucking awesome.
That's the important part.
Yes. Yeah. But just think about how much turmoil he caused in that organization, right? Sean Payton's a big head coach. He's going to have his ways, right? Michael Thomas are going to ease him back in when he starts to get playing. I think his highest value this season will be the week leading up to his first game. So it might not be this week, it might not be next week, but whenever the Saints are about to play, they say, oh, Michael Thomas is going to be active this week, I think that's when you go sell him. Maybe a guy I would like, this might not be good, I would like Marvin Jones, I would like more maybe than Michael Thomas. Really? Yeah. I feel safer with because Michael Thomas, Jameis hasn't pushed the ball down the field, and Michael Thomas isn't a guy to go get it down the field. He's the dink and dunk, just slant boy, right? So it might fit their system well, but just think about trying to get him into the game. He really didn't play a lot last year. He's not playing this year. It might take him a little bit to get back, get going game speed. So I think Michael Thomas, the most value he'll have is before he plays a game.
You do need to be realistic in like what you would get from since he hasn't played, right? You're definitely not getting like a top, someone that people projected to be like a top 15, 20 wide receiver on the season because there's just been a lot of time in between when he was drafted and now. People are, I think it was a great stash if you were able to do it in the draft. You felt like your team was good enough to stash him, but at the same time, there's other guys playing, performing. That I think that guys like Marvin Jones or who are some other ones I would think of,
like
Brandon Cooks,
like Tyler Boyd type. Brandon Cooks, I don't think people would do
like
that.
T. Higgins. Even though I'm not too. I'm kind of.
I would much rather have Michael Thomas than Tyler Boyd.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking players that were kind of shitty.
Who's another? Like, what about Jacoby Myers?
I'd probably
PPR.
It's tough.
PPR?
It's tough. I think I'd rather have.
It also depends on how your team is doing too.
Yeah.
If you can wait for him, this is a great stash to have too, right? Like if you're like, oh, there's upside there, but I just don't think he's going to do it this year.
I could easily see you being right. That like there's just too much turmoil in this organization, and he just hates being there. So I could easily see him playing the first game. He has a decent stat line, and then he just is like, "Fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah,
I don't want to play. I don't want to play for you guys anymore."
His trade value for teams in the NFL would be high because he comes back. He's like, "Oh, I can still do this." Right?
Yeah, proving himself. Yeah, that's interesting. I just don't even know. I haven't read too much about what's going on with him.
He said like a week or two away, I think.
When last?
I saw it 3 minutes ago, and
I saw that he's
and I didn't want to tell you guys because you would have told me to change the pick, and then this would have taken another hour.
That's good.
I saw that he's eligible to come back.
He's eligible to come back, but that's why I said wait till we get the news that he's going to play that week, and the hype starts to build up. Oh, Michael Thomas is back; he's coming back, and then that's when you let him go.
Well, you know what you should be playing this week? All the products over at Manscaped. Use promo code BOX. You're going to get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with Manscaped. The best in male grooming. Fantastic products. The boys all have their own.
1-1 pick of male grooming.
Yes, the 1-1. Execution. The execution there at Manscaped is definitely the 101. Again, promo code BOX, 20% off and free shipping over at Manscaped. And then as well, if you aren't already, look, this is one of the better shows we do each week. If you're not on OwnersBox and playing our weekly fantasy game, our salary cap games, I mean, what are you doing?
Go do it.
Super flex, 2 QB format, no kickers, no defense. We don't have to deal with it. I want to say this as well. I'm in 2 leagues, I think, where there's still one where there's still a kicker, one where there's still a defense. Bad execution on my part, but I've completely forgot. Like there are times when I just completely forget to make that change in the stream.
If you enjoy the fun parts of fantasy football, go play on OwnersBox.
Yes, $10 free entry we're going to give you if you use promo code Drew9. So go on there. 25K Week 7 contest is live. Go build a lineup on there. We'll see you guys on there. We're playing, building lineups each and every day. We'll have a video actually help you out on OwnersBox that comes out on Friday mornings as well. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.